Hey guys, all right, welcome to today's very studious lesson on an intro to cheese making, more specifically cultures and yogurt making and stuff like that. So let's dive in and let's get started. All right, so why make your own fermented dairy? It seems so odd and kind of like mind-blowing, like make your own cheese, make your own yogurt. Like, why would I want to do this? Well, part of it for me is that I can control the ingredients. If you look at the back of yogurt containers right now, there's lots of added sugars and probably, definitely preservatives and stuff like that, even the organic kinds. And I just don't need that in my body to be fighting, with all the other stuff that's going on. So, just keep it clean and simple, right? Whole nutrient foods that are like real food, right? Then our bodies can handle it so much better than all the stuff that we put in it with all the processed and all the stuff that we get at the store. So that is kind of why I choose to do a lot of our own dairy products. I'm very blessed to be able to get a raw organic milk from a local farmer, which is just by far superior than anything that you can find. However, you can find, or you have a couple options with milk. You can search online, and I'll put a link down below in the post today, where you can look to find local farmers that are selling milk. And maybe you'll get lucky and be able to organic one as well. But you can also get some milk from the store, and that will work as well. The only milk that you cannot use is ultra high pasteurized. And what I have found is the ones that are ultra high pasteurized, UHT, is actually the organic ones, which is extremely backwards to me and unfortunate. So that's just disappointing. But because what happens with the pasteurization process is that it like heats it up to such a high temperature, and the ultra high pasteurized, it basically blows out anything that you could then turn it into a cheese product. Still milk, just can't turn it into a cheese product. And cheese is really cool. So milk likes to have a party and come together and form a solid. So which is that's like your backbone to cheese making. It wants to become a solid. If you ever leave milk sitting out on your counter, it starts to curdle, right? And you can do it specifically to make your own cultures by doing it a certain way. And there's this thing called clabber as well. It's kind of like a sourdough thing. You kind of feed your little clabber every day, and people use that as their own cultures as well. So that's probably jumping ahead a little bit, but let's back it up. Okay. So cheese or milk likes to be at a certain temperature. It'll be either a mesophilic or a thermophilic culture. And meso basically means, it's like meso, like room temperature. And then thermophilic is therm, that means hot. It likes to be at a high temperature to go ahead and make certain different products. So like my farmhouse cheddar that I make is I use a mesophilic culture, which I actually use buttermilk. And then it's a cultured buttermilk, not just like the stuff you get from the store. And then the thermophilic, like our yogurt that we're going to talk about today, needs to be brought up to a high temperature and then brought down to a little bit lower temperature and held for a really long time. But we're going to go ahead and discuss that a little bit more. So, so you can make your own cultures on your counter, like I was kind of talking about, or you can go ahead and buy pre-made cultures. And I buy the pre-made cultures, but I only buy 2 of them. And the great thing about doing it this one time, the great thing is I only have to buy it one time. So for my cultures, I use Greek yogurt for my yogurt, which then we use it as our sour cream too, because it's really thick and it's delicious and it's really good. And you can also use it as your regular yogurt, and you can add granola into it, or your fruit, or anything like that that you would like to add. Which again, then you get to control your ingredients and not have all those weird preservatives and sugar on the back. So what's the great thing about cultures is that you buy these little culture packets, and inside each of these is 3 little packets. So you have 3 times to figure it out. You only buy this one time, and then you end up making the yogurt, or the buttermilk is the other one that I'm holding up right here. And you save a little bit of that yogurt each time to then culture your next batch. Okay, and I'll dive into that in a little bit, but that's the great thing about buying these cultures. They're, $12 to $15. You get 3 little packs. You only need 1, really. And then you throw the other ones in the freezer in case, like, you forget to save a little bit to culture your next thing. But that's what's a really cool thing, is that you don't have to buy cultures for all these different cheeses, and you don't have to keep rebuying anything like that. You just simply buy it one time. Just remember to save some out. And what I like to do is save some out in the freezer, and I just, you know, mark it, yogurt or buttermilk. And I've got the little tiny little portions all safe tucked away in the freezer in case I accidentally use all my buttermilk or I use all my yogurt from in the fridge. So then I've got a backup. It's kind of like the sourdough concept. You've got some sleeping in your fridge, or you got your discard, and then you accidentally use all the stuff on your counter. It's the same concept. You bring that back out of the fridge or the freezer, and boom, you can start all over again, which is great. So, so I really love cheese making. And the easiest ones to make are going to be your ricotta and your queso. And those you don't need any cultures for, which is great to experiment to see how you can turn a liquid into a solid. And both those recipes I have for free on the website, so you can see the links down below. But basically, you bring it up to a certain temperature, and then you add a vinegar or lemon juice. Either way, you can experiment with both. They will have a little bit different flavor if you choose the lemon juice or the vinegar, which is totally fine. And then you'll just dump it in, and you'll see it start to curdle, but curdle in a good way, not curdle in a got it out of the fridge too late way. And then you'll let it sit, and then you strain it, and then you've got your cheese. You got queso, which is great for tacos and nachos. It melts great. And then of course your ricotta, we use it for lasagna all the time, or any kind of, you know, casseroles or anything like that, which is great. So down in the post below, we talk about why does milk get pasteurized and how does it get pasteurized, and then also about what the I can't even say it, you know, that word down there about that. So if you want to read into a little bit more of the backbone of that, go forth and read. It's really great. So when you are making cheese making, you will end up with a byproduct which is called whey. And then it'll be like your liquid stuff. And that liquid yellowy stuff, with farmhouse cheddar, you can then make it into sweet whey. You can get a little bit more out of it. But most of the whey that you end up using for ricotta, queso, and stuff like that, you can't reuse it for another cheese product. But you can use it for fermenting your feed for your animals. Or I know people use it for hair conditioning. And you can put it in your smoothies and stuff. To me, there's not a whole lot left in it because you kind of took a lot of it out and you brought it to a heat temperature, and then you took out all the fat and the good milk to make a cheese. But it's still definitely usable. If not, you can throw it away. But great for animals. Again, choosing the best milk. There's a couple different ways that you can kind of go find local farmers. And here in Michigan, it's, you know, taboo, illegal, shady, whatever it is to get raw milk. I love raw milk. So you buy into a herd share, cow milk share, something like that, and then you're able to pick up so many gallons a week and stuff like that. So some states it's legal, sometimes it's not illegal, whatever. But you could still, you know, you can still purchase it wherever. So what I suggest is going to see what local farms you can buy milk from, and then go and visit the farm, check it out, see what they're feeding the animals, see how they're being treated. That is a huge, big part of my heart, that the animals be treated really, really good, and that they should be acting animally, like they should have pasture, they should have sunshine, they should not be in a padded cell. So in a padded cell. Anyways, I digress. So anyway, so check it out. Go take a field trip. Take the kids. Go to a field trip. It's awesome. So when you receive your starters, and you can buy them from my Amazon link, that would really help me out. I just make a couple cents being an affiliate. It doesn't change the price for you. So you will get this. They will come with directions on exactly how to go ahead and activate your cultures. It's just like little dehydrated crumbles. You know, you're going to bring it up to a high heat, lower it down, and then you're basically making your first batch of yogurt, which then you will save that 1/4 cup of yogurt to then culture your next batch. And then that's how you keep going on. And it seems with the buttermilk, which is really great. So you can make ricotta cheese like I talked about, the queso fresco, so good. And then we come to our yogurt. So what you want to do with your milk is that you are going to heat it up to about 185 degrees. A lot of the recipes say to leave that at 185 degrees for like 5 to 15 minutes. Honestly, I never do. I get it up to that temperature because you got to keep stirring, right? Like, it's really hard to keep it at that high temperature without going too crazy. You don't want to burn your milk. You don't want to get the skim layer on top. So you just kind of, you're stirring it. I kind of bring it up, leave it there for a couple minutes, and then I turn off the burner, and then I let it naturally come back down to 110 degrees, 110, 115 degrees. Everything is just, you know, well, you got a little leeway on most of the stuff, but you do want to continue to kind of stir it just because it will keep getting the milk skim layer on there. But go ahead and just, you know, you can stir it back in. If it grosses you out, take it off, whatever. If you accidentally forgot about it, you got too much, you know, everything is salvageable. It'll be all right. So then you bring it up to high heat, and then you're going to bring it back, let it lower back down 110, 115 degrees. And that's when you stir in your previously staved yogurt. And then you mix it in. And then what you need to do then is to hold that milk with the culture in it at about, mine takes anyways from 5 to 8 hours at 110 degrees. And you can do that in a couple different ways. You can follow it in your Instapot. I know that lots of people do that. There's a yogurt setting on there. It must be able to hold it at a certain temperature, which is great. So just read the directions on doing that Instapot thing. Should be the exact same thing. I happen to use this yogurt maker by Dr. Mercola. I also use it for herbal infusions as well, but that's another topic, right? But it's great. It comes with these little jars like this. I'm going to take my warmed milk at the 115 degrees that has the mix of the cultures in. I'm going to fill all these up, and I'm going to put them in here. Then I'm going to set this, put the lid on, and I'm going to do it for 5 hours at first. And I do this one actually at 109 degrees. And it just seems to work the best. And then I set it and forget it, and the beeper goes off obnoxiously, and then I come and check. Does it look like it's yogurt? Yes, it's pretty solid. You're going to see some whey in here, which is that liquid yellow stuff, which is totally fine. And then I take it out, I kind of let it cool down, and then I stick it in the fridge, and I use it. And then, so that's great. If you do not have an option for, you know, you don't have the money, or you just want to say, hey, I just want to try this without investing in this. I don't think this was too much, and I'm not even sure how much Instapots are. But you can, the goal is to keep that milk at that, you know, 100 degree, 115 degree temperature for those hours for that culture to go ahead and work and solidify the milk into yogurt. So you can take a cooler, and you can fill it with hot water, and then you could put your quart jars or whatever inside of it, and then maybe it'll keep it like that. And you may have to, like, you know, refill the water a couple times when it comes down, you know, and stuff like that. But there are ways to do it and be pretty frugal about it. But this is a great way to go ahead and start getting a healthy probiotic into your diet. And then, you know, say, well, my kids aren't going to eat yogurt. Well, maybe they'll try it with granola. I throw it into casseroles. We use it as sour cream. I use it as smoothies all the time, and I add a bunch of other really crazy healthy junk stuff in there. And so that's how we use a lot of it. And so I make, you know, a round of these about once a week that we use up. So I hope that gets you started and excited, and just really to know that it's not difficult. I'm not a rocket science. I don't do rocket science stuff. So this is just part of just being able to control my own ingredients, making really healthy stuff at home. And it's just fun to know that you can do it. Honestly, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Easy peasy. So I hope I hear some great success stories about your yogurt or your cheese making. And if you're interested in going farther into the cheese making, of course, I've got an online course that has a full workbook that I'm happen to be working at right now, with step-by-step instructions on all kinds of cheeses, mozzarella, feta, and even my own farmhouse cheddar that I came up with. And it's got a video for every specific thing, and it tells you exactly what you need for everything. And you can find a code for 25% off below. So if you want to keep going, that's up to you. If you want to start and see how amazing this stuff is, go forth and cheese, my friends.